Hello, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Michelle Expert, and I am your favorite sales and entrepreneurship strategist. So, today we are going to be talking about how to get more clients and make more money. I did an IG live sometime in the past week, and one of the biggest questions that I kept getting for a lot of people was, how do I get more clients? Now, that question is very loaded, and today I am bringing to you just three strategic points that if you really just tweak in your business, tweak in your hustle, you are going to be able to get more clients. Now, before we get into these things, here's the question that I want to ask you, and I want you to think about this a little. Why do you think you're not getting clients? I think sometimes we can easily say, I'm not getting clients or people are not buying from me, but we do have speculations around why that is not happening. And that's the question that I want to ask you as we start this conversation. Why are you not getting your clients? Do you think that maybe you need to do more paid ads? Do you think that maybe you need to market more? Because ultimately, I can give you all these three steps, but you know your business more than anybody else. And I need you to start just by reflecting around why you are not making money and why you are not getting more clients. Now, after you've thought about that, we can then get into the three nuggets that I have for you today. And the first one is, make sure your content marketing is speaking to your ideal customer. Now, this is a big conversation, and this conversation entails things like niche. This conversation entails things like customer avatar. Who are you selling to? I ask a lot of small business owners this, and sometimes we don't know. And when you don't know who you're truly selling to, or you really don't know where your marketing efforts are going, what's going to happen is you're going to market to the masses. And after you've marketed to the masses is the word, not masses. You're going to market to the masses. And after you've marketed to everyone else, what's going to happen is no one's going to buy it because you can't generalize things. I'll give a little example as an exercise to get this point. Every time you look at your favorite ads online or on TV or on this YouTube that you're watching, you need to realize that every ad is directed to a specific target audience. How do you know that? Look at the kind of people that they have in the ad. Look at the interaction that is happening in the ad. For instance, if you look at milk ads, right? Milk ads will have children, will have parents. They're basically, their biggest target audience would be people in family settings. Although even if you're a single person, you're going to buy that. Or if you live alone, you're going to buy that. Or if you don't have a child, you're going to buy that. But their messaging tells you who they're speaking to. Now, you need to ask yourself, from all the marketing efforts that you've been doing for your business, which is basically possibly putting content out, or if you've been doing any paid ads, who have you been speaking to based on the content that you've been creating? Now, if you really truly don't know who you've been speaking to, I've got a little exercise here that is going to help you determine who you can actually talk to. And it is basically building an avatar for your business. Now, I normally say best practice that you build three different avatars for your business that kind of correlate and that relate with each other. So, what is an avatar? An avatar is basically an image, or we call it a fake person of your ideal customer. So, for instance, I would call my avatar Stephanie, right? If I am a makeup artist, I would call one of my first avatars Stephanie, and I would say Stephanie is, let's say, an influencer. She does a lot of influencer campaigns. Stephanie does ABCD, and maybe Stephanie does speaking engagements, and Stephanie is the kind of customer that I would be speaking to. So if Stephanie is one of my avatar clients, I have to get granular around who she is, where is she located, what does she spend her money on. If I'm a makeup artist and I'm a high-level makeup artist, that is quite pricey. My avatar is not going to be a student that is doing, or a grade 12 learner who's got one matric dance a year and that's going to do their makeup with me. That might not be my avatar, even though that might end up being my client. My avatars have to be people that are going to continuously transact with me as a business person. So what kind of person is going to buy from you? Where are they located? Where do they stay? Where do they spend most of their time in real life and on the internet? Do they spend most of their time on Facebook, on Instagram, or Twitter, or YouTube? Where do they spend most of their time? What do they spend most of their money in? Do they spend most of their money in restaurants? Do they spend most of their money on books? Do they spend most of their money with their kids? Where do they spend most of their money? Because once you know where they spend most of their money, you'd be able to channel your offering in that direction. If you know as a makeup artist that Stephanie's your avatar and Stephanie spends a lot of money on looking good, essentially she is going to be the client that is actually going to buy from you because her money is channeled towards those kind of services you offer. So you would be able to kind of speak around what you do in a way that makes it suitable or that makes it valuable for what Stephanie finds interesting, valuable, and worth her money. So it's very important. Build this avatar and ask yourself these questions. Maybe if you're actually taking notes, let me give you these things. So you build an avatar by you give them a name, right? And guys, it doesn't have to be any name that like exists, whatever you decide to call it. And then ask yourself their location. What are they interested in? What do they spend their spare time doing? What is important to them? What do they spend their money on? What does their day to day look like? Because then you want to be able to fit your marketing efforts within their day to day. So, for instance, if I know that I am marketing to students, right, I am definitely not going to be putting content out at 8 a.m. in the morning because I know that they are in class. But I will put my content out more in the weekends. I will put my content out more after school from 6 p.m. into the evening because I know that that's the time where they wind down. So the more you get granular around the kind of person you're marketing to and the kind of person you want to buy from you, the easier it becomes for you to speak to them. The easier basically content, it doesn't become difficult for you. When you post, doesn't become difficult for you because you're not trying to follow the algorithm, but you're basically following where your people are and how your people consume content and how your people receive your messages and your marketing. So stop marketing to the masses. Stop speaking to everybody. And this is where the conversation around niching down comes. For you to be able to make money in any business, people need to be so clear about the value that you offer. If you become jack of all trades, you might get business, you might get clients, but you might not be top of the list every time we think about a specific service because we want to make sure that we really, truly, fully trust a specific person because they hone their skills and themselves and their impact within a specific industry. So it's very important to remember that you make sure that your content marketing speaks to your ideal customer. And if you don't know who your ideal customer is, I've given you a brief on how you can actually build an avatar to be able to create an ideal customer for yourself so that you know how you'd be able to speak to them. A second one is increase the level of your customer service. This is 100% important. Every time we talk about sales, we cannot neglect how important customer service is. Now, on this IG live that I was doing, there's a lady that I sent a comment or a question in there. And she said to me that she's a nail tech and she would like to know how she can get more clients and retain the current clients that are actually coming to her at the moment. She's new, she just started. And when she asked me that question, the biggest thing that came to mind is I had to think of myself as the customer and as the consumer, right? And I thought about the place where I do my nails. So I do my nails around North Riding, and where I do my nails, I had to think about why do I keep going there? And to be honest, I really realized that I don't go to them because they're the best nail technicians in the world and they're amazing. If I were to be really honest and really think deep about why I chose them as a supplier that I feel comfortable going to, it's because of their customer service. To me, their customer service is amazing. To me, the nail tech that actually does my nails is very chatty. I love people that are chatty. She cares. She will ask me questions. She will talk to me. She's very friendly. They offer me cake, tea, and coffee. They make the environment very comfortable for me to feel relaxed, for me to feel like I'm having me time, even though I'm getting my nails and lashes and all of the stuff done. And those things to me made me think about how many things do we buy from people, not because we need it, not because it's like it's amazing, but because the person was really nice to us and we bought because we liked them. And when you ask yourself that question, you realize the importance of actually having the best customer service for your business. You realize that sometimes people don't actually buy because they like what you are doing, although even if they do, but maybe they like you more than they like what you're doing. There's a saying that John Maxwell says, and he says that people buy people. Right? So it's important that, especially if you're a small business owner, you are currently the salesperson, or you guys are a small team. All of you guys in that business are the salespeople currently. So the question is, how are you upping your customer service to be able to speak to the right customer or to be able to still retain the customer? You need to make sure that an encounter with your customer is so unforgettable that they don't want to go anywhere else but with you. That even if they heard that someone else was cheaper, they'll still come to you because they've built such a bond with you because of how great your customer service is. And that is something you need to be able to do for your business. And if you don't do that, even if you're great, even if you have so much value, they will go to the other person because they like that other person much more than they like you, even if you're the best in the game. So sometimes it's not about the services, sometimes it's not about what you're doing, but it really is about your customer service and how you make people feel. And essentially, that's what customer service is about. Customer service is essentially how you make people feel. How do you make people feel when they walk through the door of your company? How do you make people feel when they click on your piece of content? How do you make people feel when you engage with them, when they email you? What is your tone like? Those are things you consider, and those are things that will help you not only get more clients, but retain the current business that is coming your way at the moment. Yeah? A third and the last point is ask for the sale by being strategic with your call to action. Now, if you know a bit of my story, you know that I've been in the sales industry for such a long time. I think almost over 10 years now. And part of it was that I was in the corporate industry and I was a national sales executive for one of the big corporates in South Africa. And one of the biggest things that used to happen a lot is there would be a lot of sales execs, and I have fallen into this trap myself where we build so many relationships in the market, but we don't ask for the sale. And we just assume that just because like they like me, they're essentially just going to buy from me. But sometimes people, they can like you, but they will not know how to actually transact with you. And that is a problem. So you have to be smart about how you ask for the sale. I spoke in my previous episode, a podcast episode, that I've been reading a book by Gary Vee. I love Gary Vee so much. I think that he's got such a great insight or great hindsight in the content, the creator market. And he has a book called is a Jab Jab Hook. And the concept around that book is basically give, 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 ask. So you give 3 times and the 4th time you ask. And that is basically a strategy that I really want to encourage you to use. So how does that apply practically within the way that we do business? Is that every time you're posting content or you are doing any marketing initiatives, for instance, you're going to do knowledge, you're going to just give people what they want, give people so much information, be so impactful. And within your fourth post, why can't I speak today? Within your 4th post, you ask. So for instance, for me, if I am busy giving you guys sales tips and tools and every single week, or there's 4 weeks in a month, and for the 3 weeks I'm giving you all of this information, the 3rd week I might want to do a video out so that you can purchase the CEO blueprint. The 4th week I might want to put a video out talking about a coaching program or the opening of the coaching programs that we run, things like that. But you have to make sure that it is important to ask for sale. A lot of creators fall into this where they've got so many followers and they're providing so much value, but they aren't making enough money because number one, they haven't productized, which is another conversation we're going to have another day, but also they haven't asked for the sale. You need to ask for the sale. People need to know how do they transact with you. Just because people like you, they're not going to magically come to you and say, how can we pay you? People will not do that. You have to make it easier for people to understand how they transact with you. So if you are, let's say, a service-based business and you offer a specific service, it is important that you provide people education, you provide people with the knowledge. But after you've done that, still let people know how do they get in touch with you and what do they get in touch with you for? Because you can't just say, guys, I'm giving you all this value. You can email me on this email address. It's like, yeah, but email you for what? What do you offer? Do you offer coaching? Do you offer consults? Do you offer books? Like, what is it that you actually do that we can transact with you with? Because when people have a clear direction around what is the call to action to further working with you and further transacting with you, it makes it easier for them to do so, which is very, very important. Now, I know that sometimes we want to be the hero. Sometimes we want to be so good at just like talking to people and like sharing our knowledge, but we get a little bit shy to ask. Sometimes I saw a TikTok video talking about like, it feels like you're begging every time you're asking people to buy from you. And I really think that the reason why it feels like that for a lot of people is because maybe you don't realize the value that you've been given and the value that you are actually giving right now in people transacting with you. People transacting with you is not a favor. People buying from you is not a favor. People buying from you is basically them transacting with you with the value that you have to offer and them in return finances. So you have to realize that it is very transactional, but it's also value transactional. So you can't just sit there and think, people like me, I've been giving so much free content and people just need to magically buy from me because they like me, I'm nice and I'm being valuable. No, they have to know how you are actually going to do that. So this is very, very, very important. Ask for the sale by being strategic with your call to action. Always have a call to action. And not on every post, if you're currently doing content marketing for your business, I would say like with the jab, jab, jab hook strategy is that you give 3 times, the 4th time you ask. So possibly you know that if a week is 7 days, maybe you ask once a week, maybe you ask twice a week, or maybe you talk about a call to action that concerns transacting with you twice a week out of all the 7 days that you're posting, if you're posting 7 days a week. But you work around a ratio that makes sense and that is sensible to you, and that can also be very consistent with you, because if you ask once a year, we're going to forget. We're going to buy from the person who's asking more often and who's also giving us value more often. So consistency is also the name of the game here. But these are the 3 things that I wanted to share with you guys today. Let's do a little bit of recap. First one is make sure your content marketing speaks to your ideal customer. Very, very important. I've given you guys a detail around how to know who your ideal customer is and how to build an ideal customer so that you know all your marketing and sales efforts are directed to the right person. The second one is increase the level of your customer service. Make people like you. Make people not forget about you. Be unforgettable within any transaction or any experience that people have with you. The third one is ask for the sale by being strategic with your call to action. Also very important. Don't forget to ask for the sale. And like Gary Vee always says, jab, 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 and hook. With that said, I hope that this video has been absolutely valuable to you guys and that you've been taking notes. I always say that every time you are watching these videos, bring a notepad and a pen, because there's so many things and so many deliverables and just so many nuggets that you can actually get from these things. And again, guys, it's so important to realize that all these things are only going to work if you're going to apply them, right? And here at Resonate, we really want people who are going to be able to apply these things so that they can go to the next level. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know in the comment section, which one of these three things are you struggling with? Which one of these three things do you need a little bit more help from? We are available for consults. We've got a few spots only available in August. So if you are interested, let us know below. We're going to leave our email address in the description bar below, so you can email our team and see if there are still spots available when this video goes out. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on our next video. Have a good one.